ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Are you able to hear? Okay, fantastic. You go like this. Better. Oh, it's supposed to be like that. Okay. We saw last time how the Atma Samsthitihi is Atma Darshanam, Atma Darshanam, Atma Samsthitihi, Atma Nishtha. All these are synonyms. It simply means abiding as myself. Usually what happens when there is not enough exposure to Vedanta, then there is a lot of hang-ups and complexes centered on the self. I am this much alone. I am not enough. I should do this, I should do that, I should be here, I should go there. I am not acceptable to myself, and therefore what do I say? Other people also don't accept me. This is the feeling. So, therefore the coming back to myself means, first of all, not having a problem with myself. When I don't have a problem with myself, then I do not have a problem with the world. Which is why Pujya Swamiji defined spirituality as the beginning point of spirituality as when one stops blaming others and when one stops blaming oneself. This is a very nice definition. So people who keep saying, I want to practice something, Vedanta is not up for practice, but this is something to practice. I don't critique myself and I don't critique others either. Usually we don't critique ourselves. What do? Blame others. So here, no self-blame, no blaming others, leaves a nice, right royal road for Vedanta. The readiness for Vedanta is already cultivated. And that is one way of swasthitihi, susthitihi, which this verse is describing. Yesterday a question was asked, like, why are we studying the Lakshana of a Jnani in the Bhagavad Gita and other places? We study the Lakshana of the Jnani because we would like to emulate. Many people, when they belong to a parampara, they try to look like the Guru. Yeah. Even in our parampara, many people you see, like with white beards and similar height and everything, and then you just start to think, wonder. And they do it out of their own idea of their bhakti, shraddha, etc. It's all in good spirit, but that's not where the emulation should end. The emulation first is in the achara. Achara means what? Behavior. The achara of the acharya becomes a sadhana for us. So it's in the behavior. So first I emulate the behavior without having the knowledge to back it up. So therefore the emulation will only go this much, because there is no understanding, has not yet come. But the understanding will come. This is the promise of the Shastra. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. This is the promise in the Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter. What does it say? The person with a teacher definitely knows. What do you mean the person with a teacher knows? How do you know? The person who has a teacher knows. The teacher may refuse to teach them, but the student may refuse to learn. All these problems are there. But yet the Shastra declares the person with a teacher knows. Elsewhere also in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yastu Matraman Pitraman Acharyavan. This is the one who has a mother. Has means everybody has a mother. One who has a father and one who has a teacher. That's all that is needed for the preparation for this knowledge, to gain this knowledge. Because mother is the first guru, father is the second guru, and then what? Then the guru is the Mahavakya Upadesha-Karta. The person who teaches you Mahavaksha is finally the final guru. And so therefore, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, all of them say that if you have an Acharya, definitely you will learn. And the Mundaka Upanishad also reiterates this fact. Natasya kule abrahmavit bhavati. So even the milkman who delivers milk to the house of the Jnani is enlightened. Nobody. He doesn't know this knowledge. Why? Because as we saw last time, they only talk Vedanta, and so because of that, everybody has to understand there is no other option. So Atma Samsthiti means being oneself. I am also being myself. What are you doing? I am complaining all the time. That's myself. That's not the self that's talking about. What is the self that is we are talking about? Sat Chit Ananda. Being Sat Chit Ananda. Effortless. Effortlessly when I am Sat Chit Ananda, like in sleep, that is equated to moksha. In sleep, whether I have moksha or not, other people have moksha from me for those 8 hours or so. When I am asleep, other people have moksha from me, but that's not the point. I should have that moksha even when I am awake. I should have that moksha. And so therefore what? So therefore it is said here that Atma Samsthitihi is Swasthitihi. Being oneself. Being myself means it should be effortless. It should be easy. But we don't know where to put the my. Where to put the I, we don't know. I think being myself is equal to what? Is equal to throwing a tantrum. Why? Because that's what I do all the time. Being myself is complaining. Being myself is getting angry. Being myself is getting upset. That is all not being myself. Being myself, being effortless means being one with Satchidananda. And I learn to live more, as I learn to live more and more and more in this reality, then other realities do not really bother me anymore. So this is Atma Samsthitihi, Swasthitihi, it also known as Atma Nishtata. Nishtata, the living as Atma. That is the idea. Then again we have the next verse. Which is a little cryptic, which answers the question, how is abidance in the awareness, how is that equal to the knowledge of the self? Let us chant. Jnanavarjita jnanahina chit jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. So, very cryptic verse with a pun on jnana, jnana, jnana. Jnana varjita. Jnana varjita means awareness. Why? Because if it is free of knowledge of subject and object division. A knowledge that is free of division of subject, object, instrument, etc. Free of karakas. Karakas means factors in actions, like so many cases. First case, actor. Second case, object. Third case, instrument. Fourth case, called the dative case. The purpose of action. Fifth case, the origin of action, the place of origin of action. Sixth case, it is not really connected to the verb, but the connection between two nouns who may be actors. Rama's wife, Sita, like that. So, sixth case. Seventh case, location, where the action is taking place. These are all called the cases. Now, jnana varjita means a knowledge that is free of cases and case endings. Because try to apply these cases for Atma, you will become a basket case. That's the only case left. Is Atma karta? No. Is Atma an object? No. First two cases gone. And then Atma is the instrument for what? An instrument is to act on something else. Or what are you going to use the Atma for? Nothing. Cannot be used for anything. And then I do this for the sake of the Atma. Is there such a thing? No. You can say I am doing this for the sake of Atma Jnanam. That's different. But Atma doesn't need you to perform any actions. So yes, fifth case as though applies. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akashas sambhutah. Tasmad, from that Brahman, which is this Atma, all these five elements starting with Akasha has come. But then again there is very Mithya Satyam relationship. Nothing has come. That same Upanishad which says everything has come, at the end of it says at the end of it will also say what's wrong with you, nothing has come. That from which nothing comes, that unto which nothing goes, that is Atma. Go ahead, sit down. The same Upanishad will say. What are you talking about? What has come? There is nothing. Jagataha vismriti prayah. We mostly forgotten the Jagat is. There is nothing there called the Jagat other than what is here. And so like this, there is a whole, philosophy called Drishti Srishti Vada. Drishti Srishti Vada posits, yes, there is Paramarthika Satta, there is the Absolute. And then what else is there? The subjective reality. Objective reality means it is there like the raindrops. It is there, therefore I see it. Subjective reality means I see it, therefore it must be there. This is called pratibhasikam, subjective reality. So the Drishti Srishti Vadins go from the objective reality straight to the from the absolute reality straight to the subjective reality. Oh, but what about the Jagat? They will say, what about the Jagat? Is there an objective Jagat? No. 100 people see the Jagat at the same time. Each one comes to the same different conclusions. Where is the objective Jagat? They do away with the middle level of reality called Vyavaharika Satta or the empirical reality. Now, if we take away the empirical reality, we are not on solid ground. One can become what is called Ubhaya Bhrashta. Neither the absolute nor Pratibhasika is also not there. And then what? Paramarthika is also not there. So therefore, we bring in this middle level of reality so we can ground ourselves. Just like seeing Atma first as Ishvara, Brahman is Ishvara, and then you say Satchidananda. Here also, the empirical level or the transactional reality helps us to keep grounded. So in the empirical reality, we have subject-object differences. When I say the word knowledge, immediately we see that it is a sakarmaka dhatu, a transitive verb. It's a transitive verb. Sakarmaka dhatu means a transitive verb. And what is a transitive verb? For those who have forgotten the grammar lessons, a transitive verb is that which asks the question, what? Supposing I say, I stand. Can you ask the question, what? You stand what? No. I sit. Those are intransitive verbs. I know. Immediately what do you say? What do you know? I know that you are up to some mischief. Yeah. So, your mischief becomes the object of my knowledge. This is what is called a transitive verb. The verb to know, jna dhatu, is sakarmaka dhatu. It is a transitive verb, which means I want to know what is it that is the knowledge, that is the object of the knowledge. A transitive verb is that which has an object. Intransitive verb does not have an object. So I know means what do I know? Then you can list off like Narada did, 1.5 paragraphs of achievements. I know Shiksha, I know this, I know that, I know. Adhyami. Then when he is out of breath, Sanat Kumara says, okay, enough. I think I know that you know nothing. So, the transitive verb, to know, or when I see myself as the agent of knowledge, then whatever I know is what? Finite. This we have to understand even before we begin translating this verb. Whatever I know is finite. It's not subject to, it's not infinite. It is finite. Why? Small head. That's why we have a expression bird brain, meaning the bird is not very intelligent. Actually, I beg your pardon, the bird is very intelligent. Crows are very intelligent. The bird has enough intelligence to lead its life. But still we call it bird brain because poor thing will hit itself against a glass door, not knowing that it is a solid whatever. Even people do that for that matter. Why we are talking of only I went with Swami Sakshat Ji to somebody's house recently, and all spick and span and everywhere sliding glass doors. Once I splattered myself against that, everybody laughed, I also laughed. Literally, 15 minutes later, he went and hit himself against that same very glass door. Then we told the hosts, please keep it open. Please keep everything open. Because they have a lot of people, going squeeze with all the things. So, that is the thing. So, we say bird brain. Why do we say bird brain? Because it has a small head. So, we assume there will be a tiny amount of knowledge. Well, our heads are not that much bigger in the scheme of things. So, how much can you hold? Not much. Can't hold much knowledge, and so knowledge of objects is always finite because the objects are finite, and the number of objects about which I can become an expert, even the most greatest IQ person, is also what? Finite. So as long as I am stuck in the knowledge of objects, then I cannot say that I understand Vedanta because my approach to Vedanta is also like Vedanta is one more object that I have to understand. This does not work. So what do I have to do? I have to approach this differently. There is a nice dialogue between the Guru and the Shishya. The Guru says, why are you here? What does the Shishya say? Shishya says, I don't know myself. So, how do you know that you don't know yourself? I know that I don't know myself. If you know yourself, then what? Then there is, if you don't know yourself, that means I can't teach you. Why? Because you don't know yourself. What can I teach the one who doesn't know themselves? If I say I know myself, then okay, then also the job is done. This is on the borderline of Zen and Vedanta, Zendanta. Okay, so this is the kind of a thing, very tricky. So like this, there are some tricky verses. There is one Ekashloki, also attributed to Adi Shankara. This also, it's the same way. The teacher takes the student all the way and says, you cannot say you do not know, but you cannot say you know. So very interesting knowledge. And in the Kenopanishad we find this beautiful example. The teacher gives a mid-class quiz, kind of like here. What is the answer? Satchidananda, like that. Okay. So the teacher gives a quiz and the teacher says, who knows Brahman? Raise their hands. And one apple polishing student ready to please the teacher says, Guru, me, I know Brahman. Shut up, teacher says. Sit down. If you say, Yadimanyase, if you think you know Brahman, Janami iti Yadimanyase, Dabhramevapi noonam tvam vetha brahmano rupam. Your knowledge is like a small dust bunny. If you sweep the room, like little dust particles form, it's worse than that, your knowledge. Shut up, sit down. The student just sits down. Then there is another Brihaspati, sarcastically used. Brihaspati means very clever one. And what does this one say? This one says, well, if that fellow got scolded, good thing he got scolded, because why? He acts too smart in the class. Good thing he got scolded, so the answer must be the opposite of what he said. Yeah. Guru, me, I don't know Brahman. What does the Guru say? I can see that from your face, my dear. Sit down. I can see from your face itself that you have no knowledge of what you're talking about. Then the correct answer is given by student number 3. And what does the student number 3 says? The student number 3 says, I cannot say that I don't know. I cannot say that I know very well. Naham manye suvedeti, nona vedeti vedacha, yonas tadveda, nona vedeti vedacha. Aham manye, na aham manye. I don't consider myself to know Brahman very well, means as an object. But I can't say I don't know it at all, because it is myself. Not only that, whoever understood this cryptic sentence amongst us gathered here are all what? They are all knowers of Brahman. And then the teacher is very happy. The whole Kenopanishad is like that, because we are trying to teach a knowledge which is not, first of all, which is not a branch or a body of knowledge, even though there is nothing wrong in calling Vedanta a body of knowledge, but actually it is a body it's a knowledge without a body. Ashariram sharireshu, anavastheshu avasthitam, mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Among everything that is embodied, it is without a body. So therefore, it's not even correct, technically speaking, to say this is a body of knowledge. In fact, it is knowledge which is disembodied. It doesn't have a body. It doesn't have a claimant. It doesn't have an author. It doesn't have an agent. The teacher also is flummoxed in the Kenopanishad. Anyadeva tad viditat, atho aviditad adhi, iti shushruma purvesham, yenastad vyacha chakshire. Is she okay? Huh? So, anyadeva tat viditat. Viditat anyah. It's other than what anybody knows. Because everything we know, what we have an object-subject tendency. Everything I know is an object. Subject-object tendency doesn't go no matter what. Atha u aviditat, u means indeed. Atha u aviditat adhi. It is not unknown. Why? Because it's yourself. If I ask the question, are you here? What happens? Yes, I'm here. अन्यदेव तद विदितात् अथो अविदितात् अधि. Atha u aviditat adhi. This is not something that is known, but it is not outside of that which is. It is outside of that which is unknown. Means it is known, but it is not known as an object. We ourselves don't know how to teach it, and then what do? We simply, every teacher is a copycat of her teacher or his teacher. That's all it is. We are all shameless plagiarists. That's the only way we can do this. And the teacher is very happy when we plagiarize, because that's exactly how the pramana is handed down from the teacher to the student, who then becomes a teacher, who then teaches other students, and this is how the parampara flows. And the teacher in the Kathopanishad simply says, Iti Shushruma Purvesham. Purvesham means from our ancestors who were teachers, from our gurus, grand gurus, great grand gurus, this is what we have heard. Yenastad vyacha chakshire. This is how they taught us. This is what we are going to do. So anyadeva viditat anyaha aviditat adhi. This is the problem. It is other than the known, and it is not fully unknown. If it was fully unknown, I can teach. Very easy. Atma is this Sat Chit Ananda. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All right? Atma is Sat Chit Ananda. We can teach. But then it is known. It is somewhat known. Are you here? Yes. But please do not ask the next question. What is the next question? Who are you? Then I will say how much time you have. And no matter how much time one has, it's not enough at all. Not at all enough. Einstein had this habit of catching hold of his friends and then talking about his life and complicated physics theories, which even his colleagues and other professors did not understand. And so that people would just run away from him when they saw him, because they were very worried that they would have to stand there for hours together. He had no sense of time or place. He was just, that's why he came up with the theory of relativity, because everything is relative. So he was just there. So one winter morning, one unsuspecting professor was caught in this discussion. The professor tried to get away, and the professors were wearing a very big winter coat with big buttons, and Einstein caught a hold of one of those buttons so that the professor will not leave. And the professor had to go somewhere. What to do? This is a very difficult situation. So the professor tried to talk to him. He was in his own world. So what did the professor do? Took a little blade and cut out the button. Left him holding the button, went to work, and when he came back that evening, he was still standing in the same place holding the button. So, therefore, here also, who are you if you ask? Then it will be like this Einstein, except we are not engaging in abstract physics theories, we are engaging in abstract and wrong notions about the self. This is the problem. And so therefore, it is partially known, and since the Atma is somewhat known, and why is it known? not thanks to me. It's known because it is self-effulgent. I am, I know. I am and I know, this Sat and Chit shine together. We already saw that. I am, I know, shine together. Sat Chit always shine together. And then, so therefore what? Therefore, this Atma is, you cannot say it is unknown. But you cannot say it is known also, because I try to objectify the Atma every which way I can, and I always come up short. I know that I can't know it as an object, but still that does not keep me from trying. So what is said here, let us now, with this long introduction, let us look at verse number 27. Jnana Varjita. Jnana Varjita means it's a name for awareness. Why is it a name for awareness? Varjita means without jnana, but it's not here without jnana. Jnana Varjita is not without jnanam. Jnana Varjita means free from the subject-object distinction. Free from subject-object distinction. Okay? Okay? Alright? You sit up. Sit up. Yeah? So, free from subject-object distinction is called Jnana Varjita. Subject-object distinction is not there in which awareness? That awareness is called Jnana Varjita. Here Jnanam means object Jnana. Here there is no object. Atma is not an object. That is our problem. Making something that is not an object into an object, many lifetimes go. And the proper search does not take place. And the spiritual so-called gurus also don't help. Atma is blue light. They take it from this thing called Neela Bindu Upanishad. There is just a upasana there. Focus on some trataka, some kind of a fixing the mind, etc., which is a preparatory exercise. But they take it to be real. Atma is blue light. No, Atma is yellow light. Neela Bindu Upanishad. This Bindu Upanishad, that one, this one, that one. No. Atma, when you are in touch with Atma in meditation, it makes a sound. What kind of a sound? Anahata, a soundless sound. If it's a soundless sound, how do you hear it? No, it makes a sound. And Pujya Swamiji has told us, whenever in meditation you hear a sound, what is that? Digestive juices adjusting themselves. Gudu, 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 gudu. Kuru, 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 kuru. The stomach goes. This is not Atma. Atma doesn't make a sound. It's chup. Completely silent it is. Does not make a sound at all. So, but this is the feeling of objectifying that which is free of being an object ever. Look here, look there, look at the toes, look at the nose, grab this, grab that, touch this, touch that, and you will get the Atma. Look in a single pointed, look, keep on looking. What will happen? You will get cross-eyed. That's all, nothing else will happen. So, Jnana Varjita means exactly how it is, in which all subjects and objects arise and are sustained and then resolved without making any effect to this awareness. No impact on this awareness. The awareness is like a nursery for thoughts, vrittis, without undergoing any change. The awareness is a nursery of notions, impressions, etc. It neither tells it not to do something, don't think of this thought, neither does it encourage certain other thoughts. Like even the sun that shines. When the sun is shining, let's say one group of people go under the tree and they are studying Bhagavad Gita. Gita, home study, they are studying. Under the very next tree, a few yards away, few 100 meters away, what is happening? Group of people are plotting how to rob these people sitting over here. Okay? How to rob them. They look like, they look like they are kind of enchanted by whatever they are studying, and then how to get their attention away and how to rob them. Where is the sun giving more light? To the first group engaged in dharmic activity, or the second group plotting to rob the first group, or to plotting to rob a bank? Where is the sun shining more? Equally, sun doesn't make a distinction. Similarly, the sun-like awareness cares not because it is anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat kritat akritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha. It's other than the past, present and future. It's other than the divisions of time. It's other than the divisions of space. It's other than the good and bad. You see, that's why the understanding of Ishvara in our tradition is so sophisticated. Very sophisticated. The other religions, many other religions, put themselves in a bind by saying God has to be good. Good means what? My own ragadveshas, according to them, what I consider good. Good means somebody has to keep plying me with all kinds of things I want and taking away the things I don't want. Then, of course, I will say God is good. Praise God because God is good. The moment something I don't like happens, what happens? Bad boy, just like we say to the dog, bad boy, sit down. You have tuned the chappals. You shouldn't have done that. Similarly, just like you say bad dog, you very quickly say what? Bad God. Small difference. That's what it is. This is a childish understanding. That means we don't know what God is. God is good means what? Good is what is good for you may not be good for the other person. Somebody is praying for rain. Farmer is saying rain, rain, we need rain. Everything is dry, everything is hot, I need to make money, the people need to eat, the crops are dying, we need rain, otherwise we'll be into a famine. Somebody is wanting to get married, open air, and what are they saying? God, please let it not rain. So not raining for the people who are getting married is what? Good. Raining for the farmer's family is good. Completely opposite. The word good itself is very much a subjective word. But what if it is universally good? Who is going to decide what is universally good? Nobody can decide that. There will always be one person who will say this is not good. So therefore, this good and bad is also within the dyads, because there's all these dyads, Shita, Ushna, hot and cold, Dharma, Adharma, good and bad, all these things. So if you say God is good, then whose good he is? He is, she is. For whom is this good? That therefore we say that which is beyond transcends the dharma-adharma divide. The knowledge-ignorance divide. Both of these I am going to speak at length. So, first is the dharma-adharma divide, that which we call awareness, which is the meaning of the word Bhagavan, transcends. Dharma-adharma divide, Bhagavan transcends. Why? Because the dharma is a model. Dharma, karma are models. You follow a certain way. You follow a certain path. There are certain rules. You follow the certain rules. Why do you follow the certain rules? Because you want to grow. After you have grown, dharma becomes you, literally and figuratively. Dharma is you. So then, therefore, this adharma and dharma, these opposite wars, tug of wars, does not exist in the realm of awareness that is free of all activity, free of all judgment, free of all notions. It simply shines the light on everything that is happening, just like the sun shines the light on the robbers and the people who study Vedanta simultaneously without undergoing any change. The job of awareness, consciousness, is to bring everything to light. So therefore, you cannot say dharma and adharma. Dharma means again I will be in a box because it is opposed to the adharma. Right, wrong. good, bad, all these are notions that keep us, what is that? Treading water. You know what treading water means? Not making any progress. You're just keeping on doing left, right in some water. That's all. You're just shifting some sands. You're not making any progress at all. So this way, this dharma-adharma divide has got to go. And that goes only after self-knowledge, because otherwise guilt will be there. Oh, I didn't do this. I had an omission. I had a commission. Once the self-knowledge is internalized, there is nothing to gain by flouting the rules, and there is nothing to lose by following the rules. This is a beautiful thing. So, why will I flout the rules? Only if I want something. There is a terrible pressure in the heart. I have to have this, so I'm going to flout the rules. By flouting the rules, I don't gain anything. Why? Because that which I wanted to gain, I have already gained the knowledge of myself as awareness personified. Then by following the rules, I don't lose anything. Why? Because again I don't want anything. There is no rebellion in my heart because everything is okay. So if I need to follow some rules, somebody says you have to do this, okay, I'll do this. Because doing it is not going to make me small, is not going to make me lose something. Not doing it is not going to make me gain something.
This may create a little confusion because dharma and adharma. So what meaning?
It's in a different level. It's a different level. It won't create confusion. Because we are talking of when the dharma is internalized completely. Like even for Dasharatha. Who was Dasharatha? Rama's father. He promised 2 boons to Mrs. Kaikeyi because she was a great warrior. She had handled his chariot. She drove his chariots with such expertise and made him win the war against some asuras. He was bowled over. He was so moved because she had made him win the war. And she had handled the reins and the horses and the whip, and in the middle of it, as she was driving the chariot, the axle broke. Now, in the laws of warfare, if the chariot topples down, the war is lost. Chariot has to be upright. So in one hand she is managing the horses, in the other hand she put her thumb where the axle was broken and kept it together with the other hand so that she could lead him to a victory. Dasharatha was so moved. He said, I give you 2 boons. One for not letting the chariot break and the other one for winning the war. What did she say? I'll take a rain check. Yeah. I'll ask later, not now. What do I want now? I have everything. Then suddenly she flipped. Everything was going on swimmingly well. Rama was born. She loved Rama as much as her own son. Everything was going wonderfully. And 1 minute, Dasharatha left her choosing her sari and jewelry to wear for Rama's coronation. And the next minute he was surprised. He was like, oh my God, what is this? I think I should read the book. Women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Yes. I think I should read this book. What is going on? 1 minute she was choosing her jewelry and her attire. What is she going to wear for her favorite son's wedding? Not wedding. Pattabhisheka, coronation. And then next minute she is in the anger management room. Every house should have that. Kopa Bhavanam, yes. We hear in the Ramayana that it was made of some transparent material so you could see and let them do whatever they wanted, but they could not harm themselves. Somebody could go and save them. That was the idea. So here she is having a tantrum, tearing out her hair in clumps and wearing some dirty old sari. Dasharatha really doesn't understand. What happened over here? I'm really missing something. What happened? And then she says, I want those 2 boons now. Yes, Priye, you can have the 2 boons, but what is the reason for all this? No, you won't like the boons. I'll give you whatever you want, don't worry. Boon number 1, my son should be crowned the king. And what is boon number 2? Your son, Rama, should be banished from the forest to the forest for 14 years. Only banished to the forest for 14 days itself means what? One-way ticket. Gree, okay, yeah. So no coming back. Gree, for the uninitiated here online, is a place where in the past people used to go commit suicide. A beach where people used to go commit suicide. Now it is what is that point? What is that? It's not a suicide point. It's a tourist point, yeah. It's a tourist point. So, even 14 days in the forest was gree. Okay, yeah, it's as good as going and not coming. One-way ticket, not coming back. Because as soon as somebody makes the vow, pratigna, I am going to the forest, the lions and tigers start salivating. One more person, they are delivering themselves to us. Wonderful. This is how it was. And then what happened? Then Dasharatha fell at her feet, begged her, don't do this. Let Bharata be on the throne, no problem. He's my son too, no problem. Rama will not mind. Rama is the most generous person alive. But please do not send him to the forest. She would not go back. She would not say, let's do that. She would not do that. Why? Because she knew full well, with Rama, with his Akarshana Shakti, with his charisma, as long as he was in Ayodhya, nobody would take Bharata as the king. She knew that very well. That's why he had to be out of sight, out of the mind. Dasharatha begs, Dasharatha says, my life ends and begins with Rama. I can't live without him. I'll die of a broken heart. Please don't do this. But really speaking, it's a monarchy, right? He's the king. He is the legislature. He is the executive branch. Who is the judiciary? He is the judiciary. All he had to was to say, shut up woman, what boons? Boons were given in private, no witness, no contract, no writing down. What boons? I don't remember no boons. Get dressed, come down. Then Ramayana would have been very short. They all lived happily ever after. No going to the forest, no abduction, no kidnapping, nothing. It would have been a very short, slim Mahavakya, can't even be called Mahavakya. Like Pluto lost the planet status, Ramayana would have lost the Mahavakya status if this had been the story. But he couldn't bring himself to do that. Why? Dharma has become him. Even if nobody is there to see, Dharma is me. I cannot transgress that Dharma. Why? Because that Dharma has become me. That is when one can appreciate awareness as free of Dharma and Adharma. When Dharma has become me, there is no rule that I cannot follow, and there is no reason to follow the rules, but I still can follow the rules because I have nothing to gain by not following the rules. And I have nothing to lose. By flouting the rules, I have nothing to gain. By following the rules, I have nothing to lose. May as well follow the rules, because rules is what? A manifestation of Bhagavan. Dharma is a manifestation of Bhagavan. But we are talking of the relative Dharma and Adharma. When the Dharma is internalized, then only a person becomes ready to assimilate the truth of self-knowledge. So therefore, that which is beyond Dharma, Adharma. Then that which is beyond known and unknown. Really? This is another dyad, known, unknown. That which is beyond, because it's not known as an object and it's not completely unknown. Where are you? That which should not be. This awareness we must not be able to categorize. If we are able to categorize, then it is not awareness. And what was the third one? That which is other than dharma, other than adharma, and that which is not something that can be known, and again that which is not completely unknown. Known, unknown, dharma, adharma, good, bad, past, future, or even past and present. All these categories cannot be there. Those categories are not in which knowledge, that is called awareness. This is jnana varjita. Abba, half an hour it took to explain. Explain one word, okay? Jnana varjita doesn't mean, it sounds like without knowledge. No. Anyadeva tadviditat, atho aviditat adhi. That which is, we cannot say it is unknown, we cannot say it is known. Oh, is it in between unknown and known? We cannot say it's in between unknown and known either. Because in between unknown and known means soon it will be known, or soon it will go to a place of not knowingness. No. It is not a body of knowledge, this awareness, it's knowledge without a body. Nobody there. Okay? Knowledge without a body. And then that is jnana varjita. Jnana varjita, free from the knowledge of objects, jnana varjita, and then jnana, ajnana hina. Do you see that avagraha there, that S-shaped one? That means ajnana, there is an elision, the is there. It's not jnana hina chit, it's ajnana hina chit. Ajnana hina chit. Ajnana hina chit means an antakarna, the awareness that is totally free of ajnana. Ajnana means what? Ignorance. Ignorance of anything. Why just self-ignorance? Ignorance of anything it is free of. It is free of the ignorance of anything you think about. It is totally free. Why does he say ajnana hina chit? Why can't he say jnanavan chit? He could have said it is full of knowledge. But again, as soon as you say knowledge, what do I think? It's a transitive verb. It is already there in my head. It's a transitive verb and it will translate to something like this. And so therefore, what do? I catch hold of it as an object. A chit full of knowledge. So that means chit is different from knowledge. That's what I would have taken it as. So he reverses it. He does it from the standpoint of negation. Na iti. That is the, pedagogy deployed here. What is na iti? Not this, not this, not this, not this. That's how the knowledge takes place. 9/10 is neti. 1/10 is iti. Both are important, both are pedagogical tools. So, na iti means what? Not this, not whatever you think, it's not. Whatever you have a thought about, it's not. Whatever notions you have, it is not. 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 Not. So, therefore, ajnana hina chit. A chit that is completely and totally free, even of a spot of ajnana. Then what? Its nature is jnanam. So it shines automatically when the Rahu of eclipse, the eclipse in the form of ajnanam is removed. And for the ajnanam to be removed, this teaching is needed. But as this teaching comes to a close, Ramana Maharshi warns, don't say I am ignorant. Because that would be a lie. I am ignorant means what? What does it mean? I know that I do not know. I am aware that I am self-ignorance means what? You are aware. That's it, you are awareness itself. That way you don't know so many things. I don't know Greek, I don't know this, I don't know that. But you are the knower of not knowing. And here too, if you are the knower of not knowing, is there any not knowing? No. Can there be not knowing when I am the knower of not knowing? No, I am not. I already know that I don't know. So, very beautiful, very cryptic and beautiful verse. mantra here. And so he says that Ajnana chit. Yeah, I was going to quote the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita also in the second chapter, we have the same pedagogical tools of removing the ignorance by using negative words. So, in fact, the teaching starts with the negative particle a. Ashochyananvashochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase gataso nagatasumscha nanushocanti panditaah. In Shastra, general Shastra like Puranas and all these Dharma Shastras, Sutras and everything, you don't use the word negative particle because it is seen as Ashubha. Ashubha, not Shubha. So there, but in Vedanta it is allowed. Why? Because the negative particle is the most Shubha, because it spirits away ignorance. That's why it starts with a negative particle. Ashochyan anvashochastvam, the 11th verse of the second chapter says that you are a fool, Arjuna. You are really ignorant because you are grieving over that which does not deserve grief. So the negative particle is very important. And then again, going further into the second chapter, Achhedyam, Adahyam, Ashoshyam, Akledyam, Ashoshyam. Meaning that which cannot be destroyed through any of the 5 elements. Cannot destroy it. Can you burn the Atma? No. Not because it doesn't have a form. How are you going to burn it? Can you drown the Atma? Glub, 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 glub. No. Why? No form, no prana. It doesn't depend on prana to be able to put it out. Can you cut the Atma's head off? No, because it doesn't have parts. Can you dry out the Atma, dehydrate the Atma? No. Why? Because it is not hydrated to begin with. It doesn't have any form, any name. This is neti, neti, neti. Ajnana hinaha. This is how the ajnanam is spirited away. The ajnanam is mithya. We have to understand that. If I take the ajnanam as real, then the suffering also becomes real. Ajnanam is mithya along with everything else, and so the ajnanam is spirited away, and then I can just reiterate and reinscribe what one already sees. Nityam, it is forever, that is, you are forever. Sarvagatam, all pervasive. Sthanuhu, still, without any kind of, all kinds of movements. Sanatanaha. Then again one more negative word. Achalaha, doesn't move. So, like this, the mixture of these two pedagogies, neti, 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 iti, 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 constitutes the way in which the knowledge is communicated. Very beautiful, it is fantastic, so lovely. And so here Ramana Maharshi says that Jnana Varjita, that chit which is free of the knowledge of subject, objects and all kinds of divisions, and that which is free of the Ajnana, which is this awareness. Then, for this kind of an awareness, jnanam, jnatum asti kim? Antaram. Antaram means, what else? Anything else? Antaram means anything other than this. What else is there to know? The awareness is a knowledge which is free of subject, object and free of the ignorance of oneself. And he ends with a rhetorical question. Aksheparthe kim? Rhetorical question in Sanskrit is called Aksheparthe kim. Meaning, it does not deserve an answer. He asked the question, after you understand this, is there anything to be known? Nothing to be known. You just contemplate on the question, nothing to answer. Rhetorical question. He ends this verse on a rhetorical question. There is nothing to answer. Aksheparthe kim? What is there to talk about? Kimu vaktavyam? What is there to say? Kimu na vaktavyam, what is there not to say? Nothing to say. That's why Vedanta has the final word. One reporter asked Swamiji, they say that Adi Shankara was like a comet. He blazed through the sky and made so many inroads in Vedanta and inspired so many people for generations and centuries together. And you have now done that for Vedanta. You have given Vedanta a big facelift and you have modernized it for the people and everything. What happens if after you leave this earth, somebody else comes, or even in your lifetime, somebody else comes and improves on this? Swamiji said, this knowledge is that which cannot be improved. That which cannot be improved upon is Vedanta. Because what is the message? You are great, you are wonderful, you are fantastic. What is there to improve? All that you can do is disagree. No, I am not great. Then you will only look bad. You are awesome. No, I am not. Okay. Each to their own, I suppose. We have to just leave it like that. So, nothing is there to know. Meaning, this knowledge in the form of awareness is distinct from the subject-object knowledge of any other knowledge, and then knowing this, there is fulfillment. Why? Because the person is assailed by ignorance. One cannot stand ignorance. Forget any ignorance of the self, even ignorance of small things. What was the first stop on the first day of the outing? Oh my God, I have it on the tip of my tongue. I remember the name of the village, but I can't get it. Let me Google it quickly. I can't stand ignorance. Why? Because I'm Chit. I'm Satchitananda, which is free of ignorance. Then why can't I stand ignorance? Because I don't know it. And any time there is ignorance, I just cannot handle it because I want to be one with this Satchitananda, number one. And number two, I cannot handle it because I take the ignorance to be real. If ignorance is taken to be real, then the bondage resulting from the ignorance is also what? Real. That's all. Then really speaking, you're trying to remove the bondage. The bondage is notional. It's not real. So then the whole life goes with a complex. Already so many complexes and one more complex. I am ignorant. I am ignorant. Oh no, I am ignorant. What nonsense is this? So Ramana Maharshi just sort of, wakes you up towards the end of this and says, what are you talking about? What ignorance are you talking about? Show me where the ignorance is. If you ask Ramana Maharshi, where is the knowledge? He'll ask you, where is the ignorance? Show me where is the ignorance. In fact, there is the same dialogue Adi Shankara also presents in a bhashya. And then the Purva Pakshi asks, where is the ignorance? Adi Shankara says, Prashtuhu Swarupe Eva. In the person who is asking, centered on the person who is asking is the ignorance. So the ignorance being mithya, it is spirited away. But if I take the ignorance to be real, it becomes a whole sad story. Sad story of the sad life, full of sadness. That's what happens. If ignorance is real, samsara becomes real, bondage becomes real, and freedom becomes non-existent because bondage is real. There's no other freedom. I'm hopeless. I can't look for freedom. Why? Because bondage is itself become real. Like the guru and shishya living in the mountains, having a herd of cows, and then what? Shishya comes home one day, all the rope to tie the cows, 400 cows. All the rope has been stolen, gone, OMG. Too late to order on Amazon.com. All the shops are closed, it is already night. What is one to do? He rushes to the Guru's room and says, emergency, 400 cows have to be tethered for the night, otherwise we'll lose them. What to do, Guru? Guru says, no problem. Guru is chill. Pretend to tie them up. As though tie them up. What? Tie them up, don't worry. Go. As though tie them up and come. In disbelief, the Shishya goes and half-heartedly pretends to tie one up. Immediately it settles down to chew the cud, and the other, and the other, and the other. All of them are happily sitting in the stable. Not one is trying to run away, not one is moving. But still, the Shishya spends a sleepless night. Every 15 minutes goes out from his room and sees the cows are okay, the cows are all there, no problem at all. Then before going to sleep, the Shishya says, you know what, forget Vedanta, this Guru has a powerful mantra which can immobilize 400 entities at once. That would be really a cool thing to have. I am going to ask him for this mantra. When? Tomorrow morning. I am going to ask for this mantra. Then morning comes, and then he tells, he says to the cattle, herd of cattle, he says, come on, let's go to the water. Not a single one moves. They don't move at all. And then he says, oh, you just need the treatment today because you are being lazy. He takes the ankusha, the goad, and goads it from one side. It goes. Then goads it from the other side. Doesn't get up. And he says, oh my God, the mantra hasn't yet worn off. Better go to the Guru and ask for the antidote. And he goes to the Guru and says, that mantra you have put is very, very strong. Can you please take it off so that the cows can go to the pasture, to the water? Idiot, the burkha, the Guru says. Did you untie them? Hey Guru, I never tied them to begin with. Shut up, go and untie them. Come on, this Guru is too much. What is there to untie when I haven't tied? He goes, pretends to untie one. The cow is also eager to go have its breakfast. It shoots off. And the other, and the other, and the other. They happily go away as soon as they are quote unquote untied. Were they ever tied? No. Similarly, the jiva is tied up in all kinds of notions about the body, about the mind, about the world, about the senses, about the other jivas, about even Ishvara. And all that has to come tumbling down before this verse can be understood. Very beautiful verse. Let's see what else it says. We've seen the whole thing. Ajnanahina chit, jnanavarjita. Ajnanahina chit. Yeah, we have seen all of it, yeah. So, the another thing we have to know, ajnanahina chit means to know one awareness, the other awareness is not necessary. You don't need another awareness to shine the light on the first awareness. Why? Because of the first, we can't even say first. The only awareness is the self-shining chit awareness. That's the only awareness. It self-shines, so therefore it doesn't have to be, nothing has to be done to it. It doesn't have to, nothing other than itself has to make it shine. It's like you don't show the sun to somebody with a flashlight. The sun, in fact, illumines the flashlight. That is what it is. Then there is another verse that brings it all home. Because a person can say, what is it that I thought moksha would be fun. Here moksha is giving me a migraine because I am keeping on thinking, okay, not a body of knowledge, a knowledge without a body, and then what else? As though tied, as though freed, and then this anyatra dharma, other than dharma, other than adharma, other than what is known, other than what is not known. You know what? I don't need all this. What do I need? I need happiness. That's why I came to you. I want to be happy. I don't need all this. I could care less about all these technical terms. Awareness, consciousness, thisness, thatness. I don't want all this. All this mess is a big mess. And what I want to be happy. Simple, pure happiness. Can your moksha offer me or not? In response, the Maharshi says the following. Kim swarupamityatmadarshane avyaya bhava purnachit sukham. So, for the questioner, the student, any proverbial student, a hypothetical student, a made-up student here, who says, Kim Swarupamiti? What is this essential nature of the Atma? When? Atma Darshane Sati. When the knowledge of the self takes place, what do I want? I want happiness. Tell me, don't say Satchidananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. I don't understand anything. Tell me in a way that I can understand the nature of this Atma, and tell me that it will take away my sorrow. And will it take away my sorrow? Kim Swarupam iti Atma Darshane. Once I have had the understanding of the Atma, what will it be? What will my nature be? If I am going to continue moping around, plus already I was moping around, now I continue to mope around, how? Along with a few complexes. I don't understand quite awareness. I don't know how it is a knowledge without a body and a knowledge without a knower. I don't understand all this. What do I want? I want Anubhuta Sukham. I want experiential terms. I wanted to know in the experiential way what this thing is. Will it get me out of the doldrums? In Mauritius, when you go to buy dal, they spell it dole. Very interesting. D-O-L-L, D-H-O-L-L. Yeah. Doldrums. So, this is the whole thing. How will I be? You keep talking of Atma Darshanam, Svatmavidananda, and then Atmanishtata, and then what else? The abiding in the truth of the self, Anyatra Dharma, other than Dharma, other than Adharma, other than what is known, other than what is not known. You're just mystifying me. This knowledge, I thought, is supposed to demystify. So tell me in simple, plain language that I can understand. Everybody is going, Abba, now it will come. Don't have too many hopes. This is Ramana Maharshi, okay? Yeah. I'm just giving you the question leading up to the verse. I don't have high hopes. Alright? This is also a little bit cryptic only. So, iti Atma Darshane, he gives the answer. What do I get out of Atma Darshanam? What is the essential nature of myself when the knowledge of the self takes place? Avyayaha means with the enquiry, then there is this avyayaha, which means free of destruction, free of change. We have indeclinable words in Sanskrit. They don't decline. Like ha, cha, tu, vai. These are all indeclinables. You don't go ha ha, how, ha ha. You don't go like that. You don't try to decline those words. They are all called avyayas. So here also avyaya means indeclinable, free of change, for which is achyuta. The Jyutihi na vidyate yasya, for whom there is no fall. Yesterday I was awareness, today unfortunately I have become a human being. No, you are still awareness. The awareness sways in a tree, shines in the sun, blows in the breeze, and complains in the human being. This is awareness. So you can't say where is this awareness. It is you. It is everywhere. And so here, so kim bhavati. What happens? Atma darshane avyayah. You understand that you are free of destruction. Free of destruction. Why? Because you are no longer associating yourself with the body. Destruction. Free of demise, free of destruction, free from waning, free from changing. But the body is growing old. Exactly. Body is growing old. You are not growing old. You are the same. You are, what is that? It's just like your house is also growing old. If you live in an old house, from which you have lived in 25 years, 30 years, you have lived in the same house, then what? That will also creak each time you walk. That will also, the plaster will fall. On your head only it will fall. And then there's so many repairs it needs. Retrofitting it needs. So many things. You have to keep taking it and getting some construction person to come and look at it, and then the beams have to be reinforced, something or the other has to be done. Anti-termite medication has to be put, all these things have to be put. Same thing you have to do to the body also. Keep replacing things. First you replace the knees, then you replace the hips, then you replace the teeth. Then you need a new head, that's all. So keep replacing things, keep it going, but then as long as I am aware that I am not this body, then it is awareness complaining in an aging body. But because of the samsarga, because of the as though association of the awareness with the particular body, mind, sense complex, I say, I am old, I am growing old, I am growing tired. That is what one says, because that I is not from the standpoint of awareness, the I is from the standpoint of the body-mind complex. So then there is the apurna chit. So you are this awareness which is chit, which is avyayaha. We saw. Then abhavaha. Abhavaha means free of birth. Bhava, birth. Birth also means samsara. Abhavaha, double meaning. Free of birth, free of samsara. Free of birth, free of samsara. So, then abhavaha, what's the next word? Apurna sukham. Apurna chit sukham means, apurna means total, complete, ever full awareness, where there is no wanting at all. And this is true. As you grow in the study of Vedanta, the wanting becomes much less. There is more of you available. For what? To listen to other people's wants. Doesn't mean you have to fulfill them, but there is space in the heart to not want. It's just like a small child. It wants to have the milk immediately. And let's say the feeding bottle is not available, it's being prepared, it has to wait. No, it cannot wait, it has to have it absolutely now. It doesn't have the wherewithal to wait. It doesn't understand, wait for 5 minutes. It doesn't understand 5 minutes. It's only 7, 8 months old. It doesn't understand anything. It has to have it now, otherwise it will have a big tantrum. This is how it is. But as one grows old, like a 2-year-old, you can kind of reason with. It will know 5 minutes is how much time it takes to go from here to here. Wait, your candy will come. You can make it sit in place. Similarly, as one grows, one understands, okay, everything, after a few experiences, everything doesn't happen in my own time. It takes time to understand. So let me be patient. Let me see. So like this, as one grows, to be able to not want instant gratification which one did as a child, similarly one emotionally grows to not want instant gratification of my feelings, instant validation of my feelings, instant fixing of my feelings, no matter what I am feeling. That is the mark of growth. So the self-growth happens in this way, so that one is much more patient. Titiksha naturally comes. And for such a person who is emotionally mature, they can ask the question, are you unhappy? Am I unhappy? You have to ask the question. The answer will come, yeah, I am unhappy. You see, here also Satyam Mithya confusion. You have concluded you are unhappy and you are trying to fix this problem. The conclusion is what is wrong. The conclusion, I am unhappy, is wrong. Why? Because if that were real, then if any happy situations took place in your life, let's say you got an award, then if I congratulate you, I won't congratulate you. What will I say? So sad you got an award, because unhappiness is the reality. I've taken myself to be unhappy. This is the problem. I have come to the wrong conclusion. I have concluded aham dukkhi. Aham dukkhi. Therein lies the problem, because I don't want to be dukkhi. I don't want to be dukkhi at all. What do I want to be? Sukhi. But that's not how it is. What is life? Pujya Swamiji would say in a sing-song voice, Dukhi, Sukhi, Dukhi, like that. You would say that. Meaning, Dukkha and Sukha, if it were alternating realities, then when Dukkha comes, I know Sukha will come next. But that's not how it is. Dukkha, Sukha. Like that it is. Dukkha is long, Sukha is short, elusive. So, for these experiential reasons, I have come to the wrong conclusion and I am saying, aham dukkhi. This is the wrong conclusion. Then, just like aham ajnani, I am trying to fix this up by trying to search for happiness. If I were unhappy all the time, I would not be searching for happiness. I would be happy being unhappy. Because I would not know anything else. This is my reality. But the fact that I am searching for happiness shows that I am not unhappy. Why? Because how can you want something that you don't know, that you've never experienced? How can you want something? You can't want it. That means you know somewhere deep down that this sorrow, this unhappiness is an aberration. It is not the reality. Everybody knows. Not just people who study Vedanta. Even pharmaceutical companies know. That's why there are so many antidepressants in the market. They know that you are supposed to be happy all the time. That's why there are so many antidepressants. Because they know this is an aberration. Anti-anxiety. You're not supposed to be anxious. That's not yourself. And even on the relative level, empirical level, you're not supposed to be unhappy. You're not supposed to be anxious. You're not supposed to be all these things. There are medications for every feeling. There's a medication. And so that means that I am happy. So the unhappiness is an aberration, not the other way around. So I don't have to fix up the unhappiness. I have to come to the correct questions. I don't have to try to fix up the unhappiness. What do I have to do? Come to the correct conclusion. Perhaps I am already happy and perhaps I just need to discover it. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. That's it. Okay. Huh? 7:45 you will have that Bhagavad Gita. She's finished Bhagavad Gita? No. Then she will have that. Okay.
We have 2 more classes for me.
Yes, we have two more classes.
Yes.
And if you want, we can have satsang tomorrow. Okay. Where is the So 1 minute, let me turn this off. Who is leaving? Who is not coming back?